Tournament favourites England had already booked a spot in the semi-finals of the 1992 World Cup. But before they could get to the knockout matches, they had one more formality to complete: a game against Zimbabwe.
The 1992 World Cup, England had already qualified. They're pretty much the favourites by this stage of the competition. And they came up against a Zimbabwe side who hadn't won any of their 18 previous ODIs. I think the last game they'd won in an ODI was their very first in 1983, so it was a mismatch.
England had never played Zimbabwe at all before Edo Brandes won the match at Albury. And Albury, a little town in Victoria, had never had an international match. In fact, it still hasn't. This is the only international match Albury has ever staged. It's very doubtful it'll ever stage another.
The first half of the match went as expected. England bowled Zimbabwe out for just 134. That said, what seemed like a paltry sum to chase turned out to be as difficult as catching a chicken on the run.
And that day, England had restricted Zimbabwe to a really small total, 120 or so. And you would have thought it was a straightforward procession to victory.
Brandes was famously a chicken farmer, and any subworthy salt could write headlines that day about England as headless chickens and Brandes as the chicken farmer. Interestingly, Jeff Boycott wandered into the Zimbabwe dressing room halfway through the game to get some cricket balls signed from the Zimbabwe captain Dave Houghton. And Boyks told Houghton that the match was over, that England had just go out on a very difficult pitch, actually at Albury, a seaming pitch, not really up to international standard perhaps. And Boyks said that England would just push the ball around, take the ones and twos and win with several overs to spare.
The match turned on the very first ball of England's innings, as Edo Brandes dismissed Graham Gooch for a golden duck. Brandes went on to exploit the English batsman's weakness against the full swinging delivery.
But England had all these batsmen with very high backlift. They're Gooch and Smith and Hick. And Brandes was really smart. He bowled full, quite sharp.
The 4 for 21 he took in the World Cup, he dismissed Graham Gooch first ball with a quick full-length ball LBW. And then it was Southern Africans who fell to him after that. Alan Lamb, Graham Hick and Robin Smith. He bowled straight and he bowled briskly. He'd been in poor form before that match, but he got it right that day.
I don't know if it was intentional, whether he had highlighted that was a weakness in their game, but he bowled all three of them with full swinging balls. And there wasn't really anything lucky about it at all. It was just another humiliating reverse for England. And what's odd is that after all these years of failure really in World Cups, it's odd that they would ever be complacent.
Edo Brandes' spell of 4 for 21 gave Zimbabwe only their second ever ODI win. Traversing from a poultry farm in Zimbabwe to the annals of World Cup cricket, Edo Brandes has now found solace someplace else.
He works now in tomatoes. Everybody still thinks he's a chicken farmer in Zimbabwe. He actually farms tomatoes on the Sunshine Coast in Australia.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.